War Thunder has a lot of maps, and most of them are not very good. And today I'm here to figure out the absolute worst. And boy, the competition sure is intense. Now most games, when you think of them, if you've already played them, you might think of a specific place within the game. Now with multiplayer games with matchmaking, you might think of a specific map. Battlefield 4, I think of the skyscraper map. Call of Duty 4, Shipment, CSGO, I think of Dust 2, and I've never even played CSGO before. Black Ops, Nuketown, they don't really give you much choice to think of anything else besides Nuketown when you think of Black Ops, but if you're of strong mind and high will, you might think of Firing Range or Jungle, assuming you're over the age of like 20. But War Thunder, maybe Poland or Eastern Europe, and overall those are both two very okay maps. But what about the absolute worst map? Similar problem. War Thunder has so many bad maps, it's hard to pin a single worst one. These are mostly ground RB because the maps in ARB are mostly just an aesthetic choice. They rarely affect gameplay besides like the Chinese one. Anyways, here's a lightning round of all the maps I hate the most. Carpathians has a giant sniper hill, and if you go anywhere else on the map, you're at the mercy of the people on that hill. This will be a reoccurring problem. It's a bit too big. Vietnam has a plethora of interesting environments, but Gaijin decided they should make them all just one map, and it doesn't mesh well at all. In fact, it's fucking hideous. Whoever thought this was a good idea is fucking, I don't know, sentenced to holding a big ass firecracker when it goes off. It's too big. You're never actually safe in the Ural Sea. There's practically always some kind of line of sight to kill you. Also, this map is fucking hideous. It doesn't help that it has a pretty sad history of being exploited out of existence by the filthy Reds, so it's kind of a mega downer all the way around. You'd even try with the Arctic. This is just a flat fucking map with one building in the middle. These are the same map, but one is like the future. Ash River is another map where if you don't own Sniper Hill, you're basically fucked. And finally, you, Gaijin, have ruined glorious Sugoi Nippon. You have given us 10 around eating bamboo, and also this really awkward as fuck trying to keyhole around in these stupid ass gaps around the temple. Not to mention another Sniper Hill. Company only named this way because they are foreigner to good game design. I sentence you, Gaijin, to 5 minutes of playing your own game. Thank you. So what about the good maps? No, I'm just kidding, but I like North Holland. I think the Sniper Hill in Poland is the only one that works. But really scrounging for good things to say. I like maps that have corridors like Poland and North Holland or Eastern Europe, especially as long as they're not ugly like Sweden or Cargoport. Now here's a weird one. Herdgen Forest has all the elements of the last maps like Poland, where it has open areas, a Sniper Hill, and even a village with corridors to boot, but it's also one of my least favorites. And I think why is because even though you technically have the option to go to these different parts of the map, you'll get punished more in this map than any other if you're not in the right vehicle to be going to these places. You can't cross onto the Sniper Hill in Herdgen Forest in a heavy tank, especially when the game really gets going. Now driving up the village is a sort of corridor itself, but there's so many angles it's easier to make a fatal mistake than North Holland or Poland. I like corridors that aren't really just a corridor. There needs to be some nuance, but Herdgen's village is deceptively complex. I like it when the map is like Battlefield's Metro, kind of. But if you don't like small North Holland, let's try that slightly bigger version of it. And this is still one of the best maps in the game, and it's much more balanced in terms of variety. Abandoned Factory is one of the few, if not only, map that does not change all the way from reserve tier to top tier, and it's still only like 90% good. Biggest problem is that no one goes to these other points like B or C, it's just A all the way. In part because A point is kind of a Sniper Hill for B point, but it's mostly actually because both spawn points on enemy teams are closest to A point. But Boingo, how does Gaijin fix this? You know, it's honestly not that big of a deal. But it is weird to see so much attention to be given to every vehicle in the game, but the overall design for every map is generally copy and pasted. Provided sometimes the maps have different layouts with points in different places, but this usually just makes them worse instead of making them better. Especially when it's a map with just one point on like the left or right side of the map and nothing else. I would take Gaijin's Finest full up tier slop over one Campania match with the point all the way up here. But anyways, I didn't go over most maps during this video because there are just so many. So why don't you guys just leave your least and most favoritist maps down in the comments below? Thank you. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.